Good morning, everyone. So, I want to make a video talking about why I decided to start making videos on my social anxiety, and it's generally to try to motivate other people who feel like maybe they don't want to go outside, or they or they do want to be out and like interact with others, but they don't they feel like they can't work up the courage to do it. For me, I feel like I have social anxiety all the time. um but it comes like in levels, right? So, and mind you, I'm someone that is like that has never really been alone until now. This time is when like I'm alone all the time, every day, right? I mean, I go to work and I interact with people, but like I'm alone. um so yeah, but I remember the first time I started feeling social anxiety, like I was aware that it was happening. um and it was when I was 14 years old. I started feeling like that drop in my stomach, before having to do something that meant going out into a public space. um but I've always had really uh really positive habits, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I believe that we can accomplish anything through habit building, and but like something that a lot of people don't realize is that your negative thoughts, the thoughts that you put in your own head, are habits too. So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is put yourself down, and you keep doing that, you're gonna build a habit out of that. If you are driving and you have road rage and you are having negative thoughts, then you're building a habit every time you drive to have negative thoughts. And I'm not saying like don't, like, if someone pisses you off, like you can't show it. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying like you have to suppress your feelings and all of that, but I'm saying that what I'm saying is that you have to be aware of where those feelings are coming from. And like, I mean, as you go through it and you do it more and more, you will be more aware of how that works, and you'll be able to instead have like a reactive reaction. You will be able to like quickly have a proactive reaction, something that will lead to a positive outcome for yourself and for others, because we're not trying to be sociopaths. I don't know. I'm just rambling, but yeah. So I'm hoping to be able to inspire more people who feel like they are social but can't go outside. Um, but yeah, it's all about your habits. It's all about how you think about yourself and how you are putting it on other people. Because like I let's okay let's I always wanted to be a kind person, right? And let's say, okay, so as kids, yeah, we are all kind people. Like we, you know, it's like easier to feel it and be genuine. But as we get older, we become cynical, right? And then it's like way harder to be genuinely kind and to feel like you're not performing. um so there was a time in my life where I've always worked in the service industry, like customer service, food. And there was a time when I felt like, well, every time I had to go to work, I was performing kindness. And I freaking hated it, right? And I was like, but like, I am a kind person. Why do I feel like this? And it's because I wasn't a kind person. I wasn't kind to myself in my own head. And I didn't realize that until I became severely depressed and had suicidal ideations and suicidal thoughts. basically. And I never actually practiced. I never actually went and said, okay, well, I'm actually gonna do this. Like, I pictured it. Um, and I mean, I had a lot of help from my ex to not do it, because every time I would feel like I wanted to do that, I would just like freak out and make him part of it, and then he would help me, um, which was really great of him to do that. But like, it was also the reason why we ended up breaking up. Um, it was just too much. I was overwhelming, and I didn't know how to deal with my own thoughts. I had built all these terrible habits in my head, and I think that as people who live in a first world country, like, we are all so distracted. We don't realize that we are building habits of thought on a daily basis, because we all assume that habits have to be actions. Like, I think that's just how it's been, like how we all learn how to do it. Like, we all learn that habits have to be practiced every day, so it's like very logical for us to think that habits can only be physical actions. Like, okay, you brush your teeth every morning and now you build that habit. You go running every day, so you build that habit. Every other week you do this, and so then you start building that habit. But no, your habits are in here. They start out in your mind, in your thoughts. And whenever you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it, because then your mind starts making a habit of you saying things for yourself that you're gonna do and not doing them. Does that make sense? So going outside and being kind and like facing your social anxiety is a habit. Um, because I don't think my social anxiety is ever gonna go away. Um, right? But it does feel worse when I'm having negative thoughts about myself. Um, but social anxiety is more like, I think it's just like me being excited to have an interaction with anyone. But then if I'm having negative thoughts about myself, then it becomes overbearing and handicapping. Uh, right? So, but if I have positive thoughts about myself, and I'm thinking that I'm a force of good, that I will have a good interaction, that the, like, manifestation thoughts, kind of like like things that are like the universe is working in my favor, and I will make the proactive decision, uh and like taking, I don't know, realizing to take the time to analyze your feelings before taking action. The more you do that, obviously you're building a habit, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to be for you to make a proactive decision in the moment. But if you never do it, you're always going to be reactive, because that's just what's easier to do. Yeah, I don't know if this all makes sense. I'm just kind of like blabbing things out. um I feel really strongly about this, and I think that we all kind of like need to acknowledge it. Maybe a lot of people already know it, and but maybe a lot of people don't. And maybe, I don't know, because like I see the people around me, and like I think about my dad, and I think about my siblings, and I think about all the people I work with, all the people I see, and I don't know, like, I don't see how being more aware of this. I know, like, for sure, like, say my dad definitely does not practice any sort of like positive habit thought building, right? Like he just kind of lets himself be, which is like, but then he'll have like outbursts of like intense anger, and he'll start screaming at people out of nowhere, and it's like, oh yeah, well, that's okay. No, that's not. So I don't know, but yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week. Today is Thursday. Bye.